Hello everyone, this is the guy that mistimed the new banner timing, and welcome to this AFK journey video. So jokes on me, I actually wanted to stream at this timing for Elsa's viewers pool, but apparently the patch note only ends around 5 PM, starts at 3 PM on my side and then ends at 5. So I'll be doing the stream later on. If you guys want to join my viewers pool stream as well as experience the new content with me, feel free to drop by my stream later on. So there'll be no spoilers. I'll be skipping all the story parts so you guys can enjoy the story yourself. I'll be focusing mainly on the new contents. Okay, so stay tuned for the stream later on. For today's video, I'm going to talk about, the patch note, more specifically combat mechanics changes, because I've noticed something that's really interesting and I want to talk about it. So all this stuff in the patch note, I think most of it was already covered on the channel, so I'm not gonna talk about them specifically. I think one thing which is interesting is the 2 new Dream Realm bosses, so stay tuned for more Zeeebo's guide for Dream Realm bosses, for the seasonal guides itself, so stay tuned. For the stuff that I want to talk about today or this video, it's the combat mechanics. So over here, right, there's actually a few changes which actually indirectly buff some units while nerfing other units. Okay, so point number 1, if you take a look at this, damage dealt by artifacts will now be correctly affected by damage boost stats of the allied team. So this means that in the future, or rather moving forward, stats boost units are gonna play a more important part, because right now everybody's running Starshot spell which deals true damage, and the true damage part is gonna matter because in the second line, right, we'll talk about it later, it sort of changes out the damage reduction stuff of the enemy, and that's where true damage comes in, because true damage is not affected by all these defense, magic defense and damage reduction. So we shall see whether or not like this buffing strat will become a thing in the future, because maybe there'll be a build where we just use like whole team of buffers and then we just rely on our Starshot spell to do damage. We never know, but this is an interesting change and it definitely adds another layer to team building, because now I think damage boost stat is going to be something that we think about when we factor in team building, especially for Dream Realm bosses. Okay, so second point, in season Dream Realm bosses now have a slower increase in physical and magical defense as they lose HP. However, damage reduction will increase faster. So I don't know how to feel about this. I think this line reduces the efficiency of units like Kruger, as well as Cassidy, as well as all the physical and magical defense debuffer, while making Rainer or Torrent more valuable in a sense, because now as the bosses have a slower increase in physical and magical defense, your reduction will be less efficient because the amount of defense that you're trying to reduce will be lesser. Well, in retrospect, right, because for Rainer and Torrent it's a damage boost, right, so damage reduction increasing faster is sort of like, it makes it more important, because like this means that this damage reduction stat is gonna effectively give you a little bit more damage, because the damage reduction now kicks in at a faster rate. So I don't know how to feel about it, but I think it's an indirect nerf to all the defense debuffers while buffing the damage reduction units, because it makes them more important, right? It makes units like Torrent, units like Rainer even more important. So yeah, we shall see. Not too sure how this will change out the team comps, because if you're talking about min-maxing, right, factoring this line is quite important, especially for this new season, right, as we're trying to figure out all the different things, all the different mechanics. I'm super excited because all these changes will change out the current team builds. Because like I mentioned, you know, benefiting some units more will make some units more valuable than others. So this will definitely breed out a new team build with, especially with the new units, right? As with Elsa also has a magical defense. So we shall see how this second line change will change out the current builds for Dream Realm itself. Next, we'll talk about Cassidy. So Cassidy, when deployed in the defense formation in Arena, title strength will now correctly prioritize the allies behind. So it's a slight buff to Cassidy in Arena in a sense. Now it will definitely get the correct ally. So title strength is actually quite a powerful damage dealing skill. It's just that I think Cassidy is not really used a lot in Arena, so I don't think this part mattered too much. But with this change, maybe, right, if I have the opportunity, I'll try to cook up something with Cassidy, because I do think that if you want to build around Cassidy with a mage team, is possible if the meta permits. So we shall see how it goes for Cassidy's case. But this is definitely a buff for her. Then we have Damien Woody Wonder. Fix an issue where Explode My Chariot and Emergency Support would not work properly in rare situations. So a slight buff in a sense, like it reduces the ING where Damien screws up. Okay, so this is a slight buff. And point number 5, this is the biggest buff I've seen in the whole patch note, and that is Smokey and Murky. Non-interruptive control effects such as immobilizing and blinding will no longer prevent Smokey and Murky from creating aroma for long periods of time. Okay, this is massive. Let me talk about why. So Smokey right now, he's not used in arena because there's just so many things that can stop Smokey from doing what he wants, and anything that can interrupt Smokey basically disables him permanently, because 4 seconds of not doing anything and then subsequently getting all the subsequent controls jamming into him, he's basically useless in arena. But with this change, right, it's massive in a sense, because if you take a look at the non-interruptive control effects mentioned here, we have immobilizing and blinding. Immobilizing is Iron and blinding is Damien, and these two units, they are the meta units in arena. So this means that, let's say if you want to fill Smokey and Murky against this pairing, it is possible now, because their control effect doesn't stop Smokey from creating the aroma, which is a massive buff, because these are the meta units. These are the meta control effects that people are running. So this is a big win for Smokey and Murky. Definitely see more of this unit coming out, because of like how this unit is actually quite good in terms of countering the meta, because being a Mauler, you have the factional advantage obviously, and then obviously you're going to build a team around the factional buffs, and that's where this unit being a unit that can now go up against better with all these like buffs and stuff, become a better unit in arena. Like being able to just not be controlled by Damien and Iron is already damn massive, because like they are basically in every single team, at least in the meta things. So yeah, this is big for this unit. We shall see. Right, this is just something which I'm definitely gonna try. I'm gonna try to use them more in arena and see how it works out. Hopefully it works out for me, and then I'll do a video on it to cover this topic. Then we have Florabelle. Fix the issue where the stats of Protective Blessing wouldn't increase when upgraded to level 4. So I don't use Florabelle a lot, so I'm not too sure whether or not this is massive, but I think it's quite big in a sense, because it's level 4 EX weapon skill. So usually the jump from level 3 to level 4 in terms of the skill itself is not so big, but it's, I'll say, impactful enough to min-max stuff. So this is definitely a buff for Florabelle. And that's even, wow, reduce cooldown of the activation of protective. Okay, this is, wow, this is really big. Yeah, like I think it used to have a 0.5 second cooldown. So this means that as long as you're summoning stuff, the unit is going to get protective blessing. Okay, Florabelle is going to be really meta if there's a really powerful summoner unit or summoner support coming up. Because this 0 cooldown means that the moment you summon stuff, the guy is going to get the shield. So means that units like Barrow is going to benefit greatly. Because it used to be, I think, if Barrow summons like 3 or 4 silhouette, only one of the silhouette will get the shield. So now if Barrow summons 5 silhouette, all the 5 silhouette will get the protective blessing, and that will be quite sick. Yeah, we shall see. But this is definitely a big buff for Florabelle. Then we have Seth. Seth Shell Trap will no longer push away its target upon impact. I don't think it matters too much to Seth specifically, but in the past, if let's say it was able to push away its target, I think there is some synergy with Soren, right, in terms of the war pushing mechanic. So this is a slight nerf in terms of synergy, but I don't think it affects Seth that much as a standalone unit. Yeah, so this is not that big, but there's just like a little bit of caveat. So we have Vala. For Vala's case, okay, fix the issue where notice beforehand will occasionally be cast multiple times on an invincible target without applying any effect. Okay, optimization for her skill. I think this is a slight buff to Vala as well, because Vala is I think this notice beforehand is quite important to this unit. So fixing any potential issue that could screw up with this skill is quite important. Yeah. Fix the issue where the visual effect of night maneuver wasn't displaying correctly. Okay, and Vala is a really strong arena unit already. So this buff is just gonna, or this change is gonna make her slightly more optimized and obviously slightly better. Okay, fix the issue where Vala wouldn't prioritize attacking the target marked by a notice beforehand if the skill was cast while she was immobilized. Okay, sure. Okay, so next one, Necro Dragon. During your hero's ultimate animations, the duration of the crest created by the Abyss crest will not decrease. So this is a nerf to everyone in a sense, cause if you have ultimate animations, then the crest animation will the duration, right? Wait, hold on. The duration of the crest created will not decrease. Yeah, so basically, when your unit is casting the animation, the crest will stop there, and then once the animation is over, then it come back into the screen. I think this one is for people that are min-maxing for the Necro Dragon. I didn't know about it because I always had my ultimate animation off. To me, it doesn't matter because I don't have my because I've seen all the ultimate animations for for a really long time, so I'm not that into those animations. If it's something that's new, if it's an animation which I like, then maybe I'll on my animation, but most of the time I don't, so it doesn't affect me that much. But I guess this is a nerf in a sense because you can actually drag out the Abyss Crash duration with ultimate animations in the past, and now you're no longer able to do that. So then if let's say your unit is immobile, they're going to get hit by the Abyss Crest nonetheless. So yeah, this is definitely a slight nerf in terms of the survival for our Necro Dragon team. Alpha Bear, Honey Bear now target summons as well. So summoner unit will be less efficient against Honey Bear. Okay. Then we have Igor the Mad Dagger. Fix an issue where long range normal attacks didn't restore energy, so slight buff for Igor. Overall, right, I think all the units that are mentioned in this combat mechanics changes, they got one buff or another. I think the biggest one for me will be Smokey. I think that's quite big because it's a buff which allows this unit to go against the meta units. So we can start theory crafting for teams that could function with this unit, especially against the meta teams. And I think Florabelle's buff and change is also quite massive in a sense. In the future, if we do get units that synergize really well with her while having a really high power level, this unit could definitely see more use. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just a simple run through for the skill set. There's also some changes to Honor Duel, but it's not something which I'm super fond of, and I'll probably release a separate video if there's something that's really massive and interesting to me, at least from the Honor Duel portion. So that's it for this video. I'll be streaming later around 5 PM soon after the patch ends, Singapore time. So roughly about 4 hours from the release of this video, right, for the stream itself. So if you guys want to hang out, see you guys there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.